A heartwarming memory of the garden filled with pink birds in the central garden of the community lives a special little bird, and everyone calls her Duo. She has a body full of pink feathers, as if dyed by the morning glow. The tips of her wings are also covered with a few light pink downy hairs. When she flies, she looks like a pink petal that floats. What is most endearing about her is her chirping, as if she were singing a sweet song. Even passing children would stop to listen to her singing. That early morning, Duodwo had just pecked at a sweet nectar on the cherry blossom tree when she heard a buzzing sound of worry. It was the buzzing of a little bee. It was the first time it had come to this garden and couldn't find the sweetest flower. After flying for a long time, its wings were shaking from fatigue, and it still hadn't collected much nectar. Duodwo quickly flapped her pink wings and flew to Wellmung's side, chirping twice. "Don't worry, I'll take you to find the sweetest flower." She flew ahead, her pink figure standing out conspicuously. First, she buzzed to the pergola covered with wisteria flowers, and then to the flower bed filled with tulips. Before each flower, each one would pause for a while to make sure the nectar was sweet enough before allowing the buzzing to fall. Buzzing gathered sweet nectar and waved his antennae at Duodwo, saying, "Thank you. Your pink wings are even more useful than little flags. It's so easy to follow you to find honey." In the morning, as the sun rose slowly, the little ladybugs in the garden were spotted on the rose leaves, looking for aphids to eat. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew them into the tall rose bushes. There were too many thorns in the flower beds. Dion was afraid of being pricked and shrank onto the leaves, not daring to move. In a hurry, her little antennae kept shaking. When Duo saw this, she quickly flew over and gently touched Dion's back shell with her wings. "Dion, don't be afraid. I'll take you out." She carefully avoided the rose thorns, flew slowly ahead, and followed Duodwo's pink figure step by step, crawling out of the flower bed. Dion shook the spots on Duodwo's back shell and said, "Thank you, Duodwo. Your feathers are so beautiful. I'm not afraid at all to follow you." At noon, the little girl Lele from the neighbor's house came to the garden to draw. She wanted to draw the most beautiful little bird, but she searched for a long time and still couldn't find one that satisfied her. When Duodwo heard Lele's sigh, she quickly flew to Lele's drawing paper, flapping her pink wings. Sometimes she perched on the sunflower to strike a nice pose, and sometimes she flew around Lely's paintbrush once so that Lely could clearly see the color of her feathers. Lely followed Duodwo's example and soon drew a lifelike pink bird. She held up the drawing paper and smiled at Duodwo. "Duodwo, look. The little bird I drew is as cute as you." Duodwo flew twice above Lele's drawing paper, her cry extremely clear and crisp, as if she were clapping for her. In the afternoon, dark clouds suddenly drifted from the sky, and it seemed that it was about to rain. Duodwo remembered that the little daisies in the corner of the garden had just sprouted. It would be terrible if they were damaged by the rain. She hurriedly flew to the window of Grandpa Jong, the garden keeper, chirping towards it, and occasionally flying towards the direction of the little daisies. Grandpa Jong understood Duadwa's meaning, and quickly brought a small plastic shed to cover the little daisies. Just as it was covered, raindrops began to fall with a drip, drip sound. Grandpa Jong waved at Duadwo and said, "Thanks to Duadwo, otherwise the little daisy would have been ruined by the rain." In the evening, the setting sun dyed the garden orange-red. Duadwo rested on the biggest sunflower, surrounded by Wumang, Diandian, and Lely. Lely brought millet to Duadwo Weng, shared the sweet nectar, and Dion Dion was still basking in the sun on Duadwo's feathers. Duadwo pecked at the millet, looking at the smiling faces of her friends. The pink feathers were shining warmly in the setting sun, and her heart was filled with sweetness. Suddenly, she felt that her pink feathers were not only beautiful, but also could help Weng Weng find honey, bring Dion Dion home, serve as a model for Lely, and remind Grandpa Jong to take care of the flowers. It was much happier than singing alone in the tree. It turns out that even a tiny pink bird can, with its beauty and enthusiasm, become a little sun in the garden, bringing joy and help to every friend. When the moon rose, Duadwe was still gently flying in the garden. Her pink figure under the moonlight looked like a moving little candy. The garden was quiet, with only the rustling sound of the evening breeze brushing against the petals. Because of the blooming flowers, this garden became more and more lively and warm. Such days were sweeter than sweet nectar and more beautiful than pink feathers.